Hey folks, welcome to the world of finance. This is CA Ganesh Bharadwaj. So I'm the faculty for the subject financial management and I also handle the subject costing. So now before we get started into this particular subject, the beautiful subject financial management, let me first introduce myself. As I just told you, my name is Ganesh Bharadwaj and I am a practicing chartered accountant based out in Chennai, and I'm also into full-time teaching. So now I decided to do CA when I was 7 years old. That is when I was in my second standard, if I'm not wrong. Now, don't think that I'm a well-planned guy that at that point of time itself I had the maturity to decide my career line and all that. Absolutely not. That was a point of time where my cousin had cleared this course, and all of a sudden our family members started respecting him like anything. So just overnight, everyone started talking about him. He got a lot of admiration, he got a lot of recognition. So as a child of 7 years, I was completely, uh, I was kind of surprised as to why everyone is talking about this particular guy. So I asked my dad, like, why is everyone talking about him? They said, my dad told me that he cleared a course. He's finished a course called Chartered Accountancy, which is one of the toughest courses in India. That was when it stuck deep inside me that I want to do this course no matter what, so that I want to be recognized. As children, we all crave for attention. So yes, I wanted to do it no matter what. So every year when we move to the next class, so our class teacher on the first day, they ask, what do you want to do and all that. Some students say doctor, some students say teacher. I used to say I want to be a CA. Now, so the teachers used to ask me like, so you are a big guy, so you know everything, is it? So what do you mean by CA? I didn't even know what those two letters stood for, but I just wanted to do CA because deep inside me, that particular incident, it stuck deep inside me. So I wanted to do CA no matter what. Long story short, after our 10th standard, all of us are given with a huge task of selecting the stream, the stream or commerce or science. There are even other streams like arts, but generally it's basically commerce with the science. We have to choose the stream. And for me to do CA, I picked commerce stream. And yes, so I wanted to do CA, so I just asked my dad, what is the stream that I need to choose? He said, if you choose commerce stream, it will be easier for you to do CA. So I picked it up. That's all. That was when actually I started studying, or in the sense, I would say I had some inclination towards my academics. Till then, I was a very, very average, or you can even say below average type of a guy. But right from my 11th standard is when I got an inclination. The first thing is the interest that I got towards my subjects, towards whatever I was studying. And then my 12th got over, and then I just enrolled myself for the foundation course. Back then it was called a CPT, and then I just cleared that immediately, the first attempt. And then I was introduced to this CA intermediate, basically the position where you guys are in right now. And that was the first time when I got introduced to this beautiful subject, financial management and costing. So back then, costing and financial management were clubbed as a single paper. So costing was for 50 marks, FM was for 50 marks. They were clubbed as a single paper. The syllabus was almost the same. Almost the same. Right now, you guys are blessed actually that costing is entirely tested for 100 marks. The syllabus is almost the same. Only one chapter ABC has been added. That's about it. 100 marks they are testing you, and FM remains the same as 50 marks. Earlier it was clubbed as a single paper. So that's how it was. And my first impressions on these two subjects, that is costing and FM, where I was absolutely fascinated with these two papers. Because what if someone were to tell you that you need not mug up anything, everything is logical, and you need not take the pain in remembering things. If you just learn something conceptually or logically, that's about it. The subject is going to be beautifully unfolding before you, and you can crack the exams at ease. This is what it is. This is the main reason why I like the subjects. And number two is, many students were telling that these subjects, the costing and FM and all, this paper is very, very difficult. So obviously when something is difficult, we have that urge to challenge that, and we want to excel in that particular field. So this was also one of the reasons why I wanted to, why I was inclined towards these costing and FM, these two particular subjects. So now, and long story short, I ended up scoring a 94 in this particular subject. But the reason why I'm telling you right now all these things is, the only reason that I was able to score that much, crack my exams the first attempt, was only one thing: the interest that I had. Now, I'm not asking you to have anything else. So please, I'm not asking you to fall in love with the subject the way I did. I'm just asking you to not hate the subject like how you might have heard about this from your seniors or from your peers, from any people. You might have heard that this subject is difficult, it's formula driven, a lot of things are there. Have an open mind. I'm not asking you to love it, I'm not asking you to hate it at the same time. Just have an open mind. Let the subject beautifully unfold before you and you decide for yourself. You are the best judge. Clear with this, right? That is the reason why I'm telling you, as an average student, I would have never even imagined that I will be scoring a 90 plus in a CA exam and all. It is possible, 100% possible. If someone says that scoring a 90 plus and all is not possible, honestly I'm telling you, there are even people who have scored 100 marks, centum in CA final, SFM, strategic financial management. So it is a possibility. Now what happens is, till our school days we always talk about scoring 90 or 95 or 100. The moment we come out of school, what happened? So it's the people around us who make us believe that scoring high marks in a competitive exam is not possible. Absolutely wrong. It's the mindset that makes the difference. So have the mindset that everything is possible and just work towards it. I'm not asking you to like be obsessed towards getting that only, I should get this much, I should get a rank. Have a goal, just keep working towards it. Automatically your hard work will pay off. Clear with this, guys? Yes. And of course the first two levels of the course I cleared in my very first attempt and all, so I was super happy. I almost missed the rank in a couple of marks in my intermediate and all, but final was one heck of a task for me. I failed multiple times and I took a lot of attempts to actually clear my CA final. More about this I will share towards the end of the lectures. So basically why I wanted to share this with you is, I know what it takes to be a topper, and I also know what it takes to be a failure. So I've been on both the sides, and this journey as a CA student has been a roller coaster. So I've seen both the sides. So if you are going through something similar to this, I can relate to what you guys are going through. Please understand that there is no limitation on anything. If someone puts a bar on you and say that no, you can score only 50 marks, you can score only 60 marks, nothing of that sort. Have an open mind, give your best, and let your answer paper decide how much you have to score. So you don't put a limitation at the time when you are preparing. That is one very important thing that I wanted to share with you all. Clear with this, guys? Yes. So right now we are going to, we've all assembled here for which subject? Financial management. Great. So you are in the right class, right? Okay, fine. So now, so that's a brief introduction about myself. So before we begin, before we get into this subject, before I introduce you to the subject, there are a few basic ground rules that I will expect you to follow. And there are a few things that I'm going to give you as a background, which you need to have in your mind before we get started with the subject. Clear with this? So I call this as before we begin, right? So first, we will start from the basics. The lectures will be 100% in English, right? Here and there, for some classroom discussion or from punches or for some jokes and all, I might crack it in Tamil. But for that, everything will be in English, right? That's how it is being planned for the benefit of everyone. Now, sir, should I know something to already enter into this particular financial management? Absolutely not. Basic mathematics that you know in your whatever you have studied in your school days is absolutely sufficient, not even college, because I know you will say, sir, foundation route, right? So I am telling you basic mathematics, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, basic things, basic algebra, fine. To that extent, it is enough. Beyond that, I will handhold you, right? Clear with this? Fine. Then this subject is nothing more than a combination of numbers and words. So you pick any question and you see at max what will be there. Some words will be there, some numbers will be there. They would have coined entire thing as a question and they would have asked you. That's about it, right? And the best part about the subject is it's fully conceptual and logic driven. So there is nothing that needs to be mugged up and reproduced. No. If you know the concept, yes, there are formulas. Sir, do you mean to say there are no formulas in the subject? That's not what I'm saying. There are formulas, a lot of formulas, in fact. But what I'm saying is all these formulas are logical. That's what I'm saying. Don't mug up the formula. Know why you are reading this formula. You should know why the formula is like this. so that automatically in the exam you will be able to write the formula by yourself. Are you clear with this? As compared to costing, in FM, formulas, there are more formulas. Mathematics involvement is slightly more as compared to costing. Please don't mistake this subject to be mathematics. No, sir, I hate mathematics, sir, so I will be hating FM also. Please don't have that mindset. I know that some students might have and completely, they might be averse to mathematics. So if you hate mathematics, it doesn't mean that you should necessarily hate FM also. Clear with this? Certain little level of mathematics is there. I am not denying it, but that doesn't define the subject. The subject is something else. It is about finance. But certain financial calculations, when we are doing, we will be using some mathematical calculations. Mathematics will be involved in it, right? And it's fully conceptual and logic driven. You need not mug up things. Please don't mug it up. Only because students are mugging up, they are finding it extremely difficult, right? And by the way, whatever I'm annotating here, all these things, whatever I'm writing it down as notes here will be provided to you as PDF, so you can have access to it. But anyways, this doesn't mean that you should not take up running notes. Please take up running notes. More about it, I will just talk about it in a few minutes from now. Next, this is a regular batch, right? So the coverage is going to be comprehensive, that is 100% coverage of your entire ICAI study material. All the illustrations, exercise problems, and now in the new syllabus, MCQs, everything will be covered. From an examination perspective, you need not touch anything else. I can tell you with this level of guarantee, because everything has been included in our handbook itself. Clear with this, right? So, sir, is this sufficient for exam? 200% sufficient for exam. I can tell you with this much level of confidence, because a lot of efforts have gone behind picking the questions, formulating these into a particular book and sequencing the lectures and all. A lot of efforts have gone behind this. So you need not worry. 100% coverage will be completed. So you need not worry anything beyond this. This is all it takes to actually crack this paper. Clear with this? Then, now this subject, financial management, similar to costing, this subject also requires solving more problems. So you need to solve a lot of problems. It is numerical driven. It is not like you can read it, okay, done, that's about it, I know. No, it doesn't work like that. It requires some solving, right? So I would suggest that if you're watching these lectures right now, please have a 400-page long-sized ruled notebook. Look, 400-page long-sized ruled notebook, and I want this book to be numbered. That is, have this page number also. Fine. Please follow this 400 pages long-sized ruled notebook with page numbering. The reason is, I will tell you, we will be preparing something called as library of adjustments and all. You need to give the cross-referencing. Your notebook should also be page numbered. Anyways, the handbook, I myself have page numbered and only given it. Notebook should also be page numbered. Simple logic for a long-sized ruled notebook. The simple logic is actually your exam paper will also be a long-sized ruled sheet. That is the reason why we are going to do it on a long-sized ruled notebook. 400 pages because of the volume. Approximately, this is my expectation. This is what I think, that 400 pages, 300 to 400 pages is what generally it takes in financial management, right? Now, in our handbook, there are approximately 200 sums across all the chapters put together, and this is going to be your main source of preparation. Hand-picked problems. This covers all your study material questions. Apart from that, past exam questions. Apart from that, certain other questions I have kept, so that there is a way in which you should learn the subject. So for that logical understanding of the subject, I have sequenced the questions in a certain manner. Clear with this? So we will be solving approximately about 200 questions. Some questions I will be giving it as a questions for practice. That is, I will be giving it to you as a homework that you need to do. The solution will also be provided. But the questions for practice sum, that is, there will be a chapter in that. First, we will do some questions for classroom discussion. At the back of this, additional questions for practice, there might be there. Some chapters it might not be there. Some chapters it might be there. These additional questions for practice are for your your particular practice. That is, you need to solve these questions by yourself. These questions will be somewhat similar to the questions solved in the classroom. Clear with this? New sums, if it is a new sum, then don't worry, it will be solved. Every single sum I will physically solve it in the lecture, and you should also parallelly note it down. So we will be solving every single sum. That is the reason why this handbook does not include any solutions. All the solutions we will be doing it in the classroom. Clear with this? We will be doing it along with the lecture, and the solutions you can find it only in your notebook. Clear with this, guys? Are you all clear with this? Right. Next, the solutions for this, the questions covered in our handbook, will be discussed in detail during our lectures, and the soft copy will be given. Now there is a way in which you need to crack the solution for every sum that you have. Now, if I give you the question, if I also give you the answer, fine. Now, if you find your institute study material, the questions are also there, the answers are also there, correct? Then why are you sitting here for a class? See, it's not just about if I have the solution, I can learn the subject. No, it is the approach, the solution that matters the most. So basically, there are 4 steps involved in cracking any solution. First, reading the question carefully. This is very, very underrated. You should know how to read the question carefully. First, you read it, collect the facts in your mind. Then segregate the data into given data and required data. Obviously, you should know the starting point, you should know the destination, correct? That's how everything works. So you should know what is given. Out of this, you should know what is required, correct? And once you know the starting point and ending point, you should sequence your journey. That is, you should sequence the steps. Are you clear with this? And only after this, you start your solution. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? So basically, the solution is the last step of the answer. Before that, there are 3 important things that needs to be done, and this is a process that cannot be printed and given to you. This process can be experienced in the classroom only. That is the value addition of attending the lecture. This is the reason why you are attending the lecture. Clear with this? It will not take seconds for me to give you the book with the solutions. Absolutely no problem. But is that sufficient for you? Will you be able to learn the subject like that? No. That is the reason why we are learning it by way of lectures. Clear with this, guys? Yes. Now, at the end of every chapter, once we finish every chapter, right, I expect you to do a few things. First, at the end of the chapter, once we finish this, in our handbook itself, if you see at the end of, let me just take some cost of capital. Okay, let me take cost of capital. So if you see, there's a chapter called cost of capital. See, first we will be having questions for classroom discussions. Okay, so first we are having questions for classroom discussion. Here, every single sum will be solved by us in the classroom. Clear? I will be solving the questions. Every single thing we will be solving, discussing and solving it. Clear? And once this gets over, there is something called as additional questions for practice. QFP, additional questions for practice. Now, if you see here, QFP1, QFP2, QFP stands for questions for practice. If you see this QFP1, it is similar to the problem 1 already covered in the classroom. Clear? QFP2, this is similar to problem number 2 covered in the classroom. QFP3, this is similar to problem number 11 covered in the classroom. Or in other words, this additional questions for practice is basically all these additional questions for practice are ICAI study material questions only. Clear with this? So then why have you kept it here? Because if we have covered a superior sum already, there is no point in doing a similar sum again. So that is the reason why I have kept it in this book, but as an additional question for practice, which you are supposed to go home and practice it by yourself. Clear? The solutions will be provided for these questions for practice. The book back questions for practice, solution I will provide. But the moment we finish a particular chapter, first thing what you need to do, go and do this additional questions for practice. Clear? There will not be many additional questions for practice. See, that's all. In this chapter, see how many additional questions for practice? Only 4 are there. Clear with this? Because everything else we have already covered in the classroom itself. Are you clear with this? Fine. Now, once you finish these questions for practice, now you should take up past 5 exam questions and past 5 RTPs and solve it. Clear with this, guys? Now, it might sound like a huge task, but then and there, if you do it, it is going to be very, very easy for you. Clear with this, guys? Clear with this? So, past 5 exam questions, past 5 RTPs. So I will actually give you all the past 5 exam questions and the past 5 RTPs. You can take it from there and you can do it. Or alternatively, I will be releasing something called as FM practice manual. Okay, this FM practice manual is nothing but a compilation of past 10 exam questions and past 10 RTPs. Right now, I would have compiled it chapter wise and I would have given it in a particular order. That is, the latest exam question will be on the top and so on, it will just go. So, and repetitions will be avoided. That is a small value addition. Sir, only if I purchase this practice manual will I be able to do all these questions? Absolutely not. You can even practice all these questions using the past 5 exam questions and past 5 RTPs, which will provide it to you free of cost, that you need not worry about it. If you want it in a structured format, we are going to put it in a structured format as a publication. That's about it. If not, you can even rely on this past 5 exam questions and past 5 RTPs. That is also 100% sufficient. Clear with this, guys? But these are a must. Please don't accumulate it towards the end. Whenever a chapter gets over, it is your duty to do all these things. If you have any doubt, ask me over WhatsApp, Telegram. You know the means to reach me. Clear with this, guys? Are you all clear with this? Yes? Fine. Now comes the important part, which is called as color coding. Now, I expect you to bring 4 color ballpoint pens to the classroom. 4 color ballpoint pens. All these 4 should be ballpoint pens. Blue ink, black ink, red ink, and green ink. What are these 3? What are these 4? What are these things? If you see, blue ink is for running notes. Black ink is for formal notes. Sir, what is the difference between the two? Formal notes is something I might dictate a few things in the class and ask you to write down. Or all the solutions that we will be doing, no, this will be formal. That is, I will do the solutions. Sometimes I will do it first and then ask you to write down later, or I will say, let us do this together and we will be doing it together. We will discuss initially and do it together. It can be any which ways. All the solutions and the dictated areas will come under the formal note category, which should be captured only in a black ink. Clear with this? Then, why do we have this blue ink running notes? Now, this blue ink is the biggest value addition of attending the lectures. Again, this is underrated. Now, blue ink running notes means in the classroom, I might be discussing some examples. This example might not be there in the book. It might also not be there by way of a dictation. So what you need to do is you should automatically write it down in a way in which you understand, so that tomorrow when you look back at your notes, you can relive the classroom moment and quickly grasp whatever has happened in that particular lecture. Clear with this, guys? So running notes is a must. It is 100% must. This is the reason why you are attending the lecture. You are not attending the lecture for this printed books and all. The printed book, you yourself can sit at home and do it. The biggest value addition of attending the lecture is the running notes. Clear with this, guys? Then you should bring a red ink to mark some important areas. Important words I will ask you to underline in red ink or circle it. And also, if you have made a mistake in the classroom, in the particular solutions, if you have made a mistake, fine, that those mistakes you need to rectify or correct it using a red ink. So red ink is the most important thing, because the day before your exam, when you look at when you turn your pages, these red ink items will pop up automatically. So you will know that you have committed a mistake here. When you are doing it in your classroom, you are prone to commit the mistake again in the exam. So you should be extra careful on that. So maybe for one student, the red ink items may be different. For another student, the red ink items may be different, because you might make a mistake somewhere. Another student might make a mistake somewhere. It is highly customized. This can never be printed and given to you by anyone in the world. Only you can do this. Are you clear with this? And then green ink is for headings. That is in our subject, we have, let us say, for us to crack the solution, we might be having step 1, step 2, step 3, and the third step, if you do it, you will get the solution. These steps are there, no? These steps, that is the heading. Step 1, calculation of so and so, right? These headings should be captured in a green ink. Why? Because it will be easier for you to track down one type of sum. You will know how many steps are there and what these steps are there. The day before the exam, when you are revising it, automatically you will get a complete grip over whatever efforts that you have put for the last so many months. Are you clear with this? And guys, this note taking is an art. Actually, you should craft your notebook, and your notebook is actually the notes that you have taken. That is everything for you. That should be everything for you, because it will literally tell you so many things that you might not even imagine today. 2 years later, if you just open this book and see, you will be able to relive the classroom moment, and you will remember the examples that I was telling in the class. You will be able to follow so many things that otherwise you cannot follow. Are you clear with this? Many students have benefited out of this. It is a time tested approach, and all these things. Now, I also, as a student, when I was a student, I learned all these things, and I took my notes in this way only, and I am just passing on the legacy to you all. That's all. My faculty, they told me to follow all these things. I am just passing on the legacy. So I have personally benefited. My students have also personally benefited. I am sure that you guys are also going to benefit. So when you are doing this, take some little extra efforts. It is not easy. Take this little extra efforts when you are doing it. Are you clear with this, guys? And you can easily target an 80 plus. You can easily target an 80 plus. When I say 80 plus, I'm talking about 80%. Fine. So since FM is for 50 marks, easily you can score 40 plus. It is 100% possibility. Now there are even students who have scored 50 out of 50. That is 100% in this paper. Yes, 100% possible. Clear? For conservative side, I'm just telling you that 80 plus. Beyond this is also possible. If you just follow whatever I say, 100% it's a possibility. Clear with this, guys? Clear with this? Fine. Now, one more thing. Our subject is completely practical driven, right? It is fully practical driven. We have a lot of numerical sums to be. We have a lot of numerical sums to solve, and all these things are there. So you should bring one calculator for sure when you are attending the lectures, even in the recorded mode. Please have a basic discipline, right? So have a structured timing. Put yourself a timetable. Say that you are going to watch from this time to this time. I'm going to watch FM lectures. So sit on a table. Don't sleep on a sofa or on a cozy bed and all, and just see like this. It doesn't work out. You need to parallelly work out along with me. That is the only way forward. Clear with this? Pick one calculator of your choice. Calculator is very, very, very important for subjects like costing and FM, especially FM. Costing, to some extent at least, it's fine. But FM without calculator, it's not at all possible. Scientific calculator not allowed. Take any calculator, preferably 12 digits. You take 12-digit calculator, have it with you. Fine. Use the calculator, the same calculator you use it till your exam. As in the same brand, the same model, not even the brand, the same model. Because at some point of time, we should really pick up speed. And this calculator, you should not even look at the calculator when you are actually typing the numbers. You should get that much level of control. Clear with this? Calculator is a must. So these are some basic ingredients for you to attend the lectures properly and get the best learning experience. Clear with this, guys? So the 4-color inks, ballpoint pens, I told you, 4-color ballpoint pen, pencil, eraser, scale, and all these things you guys know. Apart from that, calculator is a must. Clear with this, guys? Yes, and you can easily score a lot of marks. In fact, even a centum is possible. Now, many students feel that, this subject FM is highly numerical driven. It is very difficult and all. As I just told you, have an open mind. Have an open mind. I'm not asking you to like it. I'm not asking you to hate it also. Have an open mind. Let it beautifully unfold before you, and you decide based on your level of understanding. People say things are difficult. What do you mean by difficulty? If you do not know something, it is difficult, correct? Then how to make it easy? You know it, you learn it, as simple as that. If you don't take the efforts in learning something, then obviously you will say it is difficult only. So you guys are here to take the efforts in learning, right? So obviously you guys can never find this subject difficult. Are you clear with this? So have this mindset. So you guys need to follow all these things accordingly. If you practice one chapter, if you finish right now, and then if you practice all these things that I just tell you, Now, after every chapter, if you finish all these things, now after say 2-3 months, right? After say 2-3 months, if you look back, you will be surprised with the kind of volume that you have covered, because nothing happens overnight. You have been consistent over the last few months, and suddenly if you look back one day, it will be a snowball effect. You would have covered a lot of things you yourself cannot imagine. You will get that much level of confidence. So please show the power of consistency. Nothing can happen overnight. Nothing will happen overnight also. Show the power of consistency over a point of time automatically. You just keep putting your efforts and leave it there. Clear with this, guys? Fine. That's about the basic. Before we begin section, that is about the classroom disciplines and hygienes that you need to follow. Clear with this, guys? Now, moving on to the next part, which is about the syllabus, in financial management, right? So now you can take the handbook given to you. So this is the handbook. So if you see here, 100% ICA coverage, it's a classroom supplement. That is, this book needs to be followed along with the classroom lectures. Sir, I want to do self-study. Can I use your book? I would suggest you better use study material. If you want to do self-study, please don't use this book for self-study. That's why I've clearly put this as a classroom supplement. Along with the classroom, if you use this book, this will be definitely useful for you. Clear? There are 200 plus problems, 130 plus MCQs. Practice questions are there at the end of every chapter, and FM theory, some theory chapters are also available here. So all these things are what you can expect in this book. I just wanted to, let you guys know about this. Fine. So now look at this, guys. Look at this. Now, if you see, this is our syllabus. This is our syllabus lineup. Clear with this? Now, as per your institute study material, there are 9 chapters. Clear? But there is one additional chapter that we will be doing in our classroom, which is called as time value of money. Clear? That is the basic chapter with which you can even enter into the world of finance. I will walk you through all of that. So for our classroom discussion, there are a total of how many chapters? 10 chapters are there. Clear with this? The contents are available in this first page. You can even find the respective page numbers from where this each and every chapter is going to start. Clear with this, guys? Clear with this, guys? Now, there is something called as syllabus mapping with ICAI study material. What is this? Let us say you take a chapter called as cost of capital. Clear? Now, this cost of capital, if you pick our handbook, it is available under chapter number 2. If you want to trace this to the study material, you can find it as chapter number 4. Clear with this? Suppose dividend decisions, in our handbook, it is chapter number 6. Whereas in our ICA study material, it is chapter number 8. Are you clear with this? So readily, I am telling you, this chapter is chapter number what in our handbook, it is what chapter number in our study material. Both I am parallelly mentioning. So in case you want to refer the study material, that way also you can find these chapters accordingly. Clear with this? And as per our study material, there are only 9 chapters. This first chapter, time value of money, if you see, I have put it here as not applicable because in the study material, there is no separate chapter called as time value of money, but we will be studying that particular chapter. In fact, we will be starting with that particular chapter only. Sir, this chapter is not there in the study material. Then are you doing something out of syllabus? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This chapter, time value of money, this is like oxygen, right? Oxygen cannot be seen, but its presence can be felt everywhere. Correct or not? This time value of money, without this chapter, you can never enter into financial management at all, because this chapter is a backbone of your financial management. This is scattered into all these, most of these chapters, right? The first chapter that we will be seeing is time value of money. That is the basic. The more the time you spend on the basics, more the time you spend on the foundations of the subject, lesser will be the time you will be spending on the advanced level concept. Clear with this? This is similar to what Abraham Lincoln said. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree. I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. If you give me 6 hours, what is the task? Cut down a tree. Now I will not directly go and start cutting the tree. I will spend the first 4 hours in sharpening the axe. If my axe is so sharp, I can cut down the tree in just 2 hours and go off. Are you clear with this? Similarly, you prepare your foundation, as in not your CA foundation. I'm talking about the foundations of this particular subject, the fundamentals. If you're strong with that, the way you enter will be, you will be entering the subject with a bang. Clear with this? And it has been carefully sequenced. We will be seeing it in a particular logical sequence. That way only we will be seeing this subject. Clear with this, guys? Fine. Are you all clear with this? So overall, as per our classroom discussion, we will be having how many chapters? 10 chapters are there. So time value of money, cost of capital, leverages, capital structure, investment decisions. This chapter is also known as capital budgeting. Then you have dividend decisions. Then you have a chapter called as ratio analysis. You guys would have studied something about ratio analysis in your school days. You remember ratio analysis in your foundation accounts, also some current ratio, liquid ratio, and rest. This chapter is something related to that only. Then management of working capital you have. Then the last 2 chapters, chapter number 9 and chapter number 10, these 2 are theory chapters, scope and objectives of financial management and types of financing. These 2 are hardcore theory chapters, only theory, no numerical sums here. So technically speaking, only in 8 chapters we have numericals. 2 chapters are fully theory. Clear with this? Now theory chapters I'm going to do only in the end. Simple reason, if I do it in the beginning, it will tamper your logical understanding of the subject. So I'm going to introduce you to this subject in a particular manner, in such a way that you will logically able to appreciate the importance of this particular subject. So the theory part will be covered in the end. So don't worry about theory. I will cover it not right now, towards the end. First, we will enter the subject logically, conceptually. We will focus more on the numerical part. And as and when we cover a chapter, I will also do the MCQs. Don't worry, because MCQs are also practical only. Are you clear with this? As and when we finish the numerical problems, we will also cover MCQs. Theory alone, separately, we will do it towards the end. Clear with this, guys? Clear with this? This is how we are going to do overall 8 chapters plus 2 chapters of theory and MCQs. Are you clear with this? 8 practical chapters, 2 theory chapters, and then MCQ for all the 10 chapters. Clear with this, guys? This is about your syllabus. And now, your paper. What is this paper? Paper 6. Your paper 6 is what? Financial management and strategic management. Correct, guys? FMSM. Out of this, FM carries how many marks? 50 marks. And SM carries how many marks? Another 50 marks. Right? Now, I am going to handle only the first 50 mark component. That is, this financial management, 50 marks is what we are going to see here, right? And trust me, this being a numerical driven part, it is easy to score for you. Strategic management, if you see, basically, strategic management is nothing but in your class 12, you might have studied a subject called as business studies or commerce. That is one subject. Or this is slightly an advanced version of that. Basically, there are MBA courses. 2 years of what you study in MBA, they have condensed it and they have put it here in a separate subject, a separate paper called as strategic management. Now, I wouldn't call it as a theory. It is descriptive. It is not practical. It is descriptive. So, it is not numerical. It is descriptive. Practical only, but you need to put it in words. It is not numerically involved much. But as compared to SM is a beautiful subject. SM is absolutely beautiful. And no doubt about that. But as compared to FM is easily scoreable. You can score more marks in FM. Clear with this? So don't come to the conclusion by saying, sir, I will omit FM, only focus on SM. Or sir, I will only study FM, I will omit SM. No. Don't ever do this. Don't ever do this. Treat all the 6 papers as 6 little babies. The moment you look at a baby, you will just fall in love with it. You don't think about whether it's a boy or a girl, white or black, nothing. You just fall in love with it because of the innocence. These 6 papers are staring at you and they are absolutely innocent. They haven't done anything to you. So all the 6 papers are very, very important from an examination perspective. So there is no question of leaving one subject in choice and going and all. Absolutely not. It is going to be difficult for you if you do that. Are you clear with this? Give equal importance to all the subjects. Are you clear with this? Now, I told you, you have 6 papers. All the 6 papers are equally important. Correct? Yes. Now, understand one more thing. Understand one more thing. Now, in CA, some papers are called as core papers. Some papers are called as non-core papers. Now, be very careful. Listen to this patiently. Don't jump to the conclusion by saying core means important, non-core means less important. No, that's not what I'm saying. There is something called as core papers, something called as non-core paper. Core paper means these papers form the heart of our course. For example, accounts, costing, financial management, audit. These papers are all core papers. That is, this is very much, I wouldn't say all the subjects are important, but this is very much an integral part of the course. Are you clear with this? There are some non-core papers. Non-core papers, example, law, strategic management. These are all non-core papers. Sir, non-core papers means less important. No. That's not what I'm saying. For example, law paper, right? If you see the same law paper in CA exam, the same law paper in CS exam, if you see, there will be a lot of difference. In CS exam, you should go write the form number also. You should say which form number talks about which thing, because there in CS, that is a core paper. Whereas in CA Inter, the same law paper, you need not go to that depth. Yes, it is important. You should know what the section says. Section numbers is not mandatory enough for you guys. Yes, section numbers is not mandatory here. Yes, the reason is only that, basically. Yes, it is not a core paper means, yes, you should know a lot of things, but there is a depth in which you should know the subject, right? FM is a core paper, which means what? The depth is huge. You need to know this paper completely. And please don't confuse this core and non-core into important, less important. I'm just talking about the manner in which the subjects are going to be tested. That's all I'm talking. For instance, law paper, generally it is being corrected by lawyers or company secretaries. This is what I was told. And similarly, SM papers, generally MBAs come and correct it, your exam papers. If you see costing, FM, audit and all, only chartered accountants will correct a paper. The examiners will be chartered accountants. Are you clear with this? See, it is not about who is correcting it. I'm telling you the depth of knowledge that you need to have. Clear with this? So costing, FM and all are core papers. Accounts, audit, income tax, these are all some core papers where you need to have in-depth knowledge, because these are, as a chartered accountant, people will expect you to know these things. Clear? Apart from that, additionally also we are studying law and we are also studying strategic management. These are also some additional things we are studying as a part of the curriculum. But again, I'm saying all the 6 papers are equally important. Please don't fool yourself into believing that one is more important, one subject is less important. No, only if you clear all the papers, you can clear this level of the course. Clear with this? Clear? So core and non-core depends on the depth of learning. That is what I am saying. Fine. Now let's get into this particular subject. Let me just introduce you to this particular subject, financial management. Sir, what is financial management? Why are we studying this particular subject? Why are we first learning this subject? Why have we all assembled here to learn this subject called finance? Now, generally there is a big misconception. People think that finance means accounts. No, finance and accounts are interrelated, no doubt, but they are different. Clear with this? Finance and accounts are not the same. If you ask someone, they will say, I am working in a finance department of a company. But if you go ask them what they are doing, they will say they are doing some accounting related work. No, technically speaking, there is a thin line of difference between finance and there is a line of difference between accounts. So first, this subject, financial management, what is it? We will first learn the reason why we are studying this subject. I will connect the dots and accordingly we will enter into the subject. Clear with this, guys? Fine. So let's get started. Now, why FM? Right? Guys, please catch up running notes. Please catch up running notes. All these things are nowhere there. The way I'm going to tell you right now, they are not there in our handbook. They are not there in our study material. These can come only by way of explanation. So please, and I'm not going to dictate also. Write it down in a language in which you understand. Remember, when you're taking running notes, you should develop this multitasking skill. 3 things need to happen simultaneously. Your ears should listen, mind should process, hand should write. So you should listen to me, process it and write it in your own language. You need to develop the skill. It doesn't happen overnight, but over a point of time you need to develop. I will try to be a little slow. All these things are the biggest value addition. The reason why you have paid the fees and attending the class is for the blue ink item only. In my opinion, for the blue ink item only. The question, solution and all that you can find it anywhere. The logic behind every concept that comes only by way of running notes, it can come only if you attend the lecture properly and catch up running notes for that. Clear with this, guys? I am starting from the scratch, literally from the scratch. I'm not assuming that you know any, I'm assuming that you do not know anything about the subject. Can I start with that assumption? Yes, maybe because some students know a little bit, some students might not know anything at all. For the benefit of all, I am going to start the subject with the assumption that yes, you are learning it for the first time. So what is FM? You are going to learn it only for the first time from me. So that is the assumption based on which I'm going to go. Clear with this, guys? And remember, everything is logical and conceptual. And please be very, very attentive. I will keep asking questions, right? I will keep asking questions. Now you need to properly, you need to remember whatever I'm telling you. And at the right point of time, you need to connect the dots and answer me, right? Even the online people assume that I'm standing in front of you and teaching. Clear with this, right? Let anyone think whatever they want. It's okay. You shout the answer. Assume that I'm standing in front of you and asking you a particular question. You answer, you shout and you say the answer. It's okay. That is when you get the best learning experience. Now, guys, shall we get started? Yes. Perfect. Now, let's get started. Let's get started. Now, what is FM all about? What is FM all about? Now, let me just start with a balance sheet. Now, you guys know balance sheet? Yes, you guys have seen balance sheet. Obviously, you are at the second level of a professional course. Obviously, yes, you guys would have seen a balance sheet either in starting from your school days, in your BCom or in your foundation. Everywhere this balance sheet is there. Clear? Now, let us say I want to start a business. Clear, guys? I want to start a business. Have I started? Not yet. I have not started. I want to start. Now, assets, liabilities, nothing is there. Correct, guys? Yes, obviously the balance sheet is clean on both the sides. I have to start, right? Now, first, I want to start a business. What do I need? Guys, what do I need? Capital, or in other words, money, fund, correct? Dud. I need money, correct? First, who will bring the money? Who will bring the money? The owner should only bring the first money, no? Guys, yes or no? For a company, who is the owner? Shareholders. Basically, I can call them as equity share capital. Correct or not? Right? First, I bring my own money into the company. Guys, yes or no? Right? Fine. Now, if that is not sufficient, what I will do, I can also go and ask other sources of finance like preference share capital. Have you heard of preference share capital? Yes, I can also raise money from preference share capital route. Guys, correct. If that is still not sufficient, I can also go to the debt channel, correct, and take some borrowings. I can also take money from the debt route, that is by way of debentures, or I can go to a bank, ask for a loan. Guys, correct or not? Yes, guys. Yes. Are you clear with this? Now, first for me to start a company, I need what? Capital. And guys, please remember, when I use the word capital, please don't go by the bookish definition of share capital. No. Capital means money. That's all. Capital means what? Money. Funds. Capital means money in our subject. Clear with this? Sources of capital, which means your debt is also a type of capital only. Capital means what? Money. That's about it. Are you clear with this? So for me to start a business, first I need what, guys? Money, right? This money, I can raise it from many sources of finance. There are so many sources available for me, guys, correct? And you guys know that the company has, a corporate legal existence. You know that, right? That is what you mean by that. The shareholders and the company are different, correct or not? In the eyes of law, the company is a separate body corporate by itself, correct or not? It's a separate person, artificial judicial person, correct? So company is different from the shareholders. This you all know already. Yes, guys? Fine. Now, what happens? First, for me to start a business, I need funding, correct? Finance. I need to raise finance. I can raise finance from equity share capital mode, preference share capital mode, or any of the debt modes like that. There are many sources of finance. We will be seeing it. Clear? Just for the time being, I'm telling you some 3 sources of finance. Clear with this, guys? Yes. Now you tell me, this money that I am raising from these sources of finance, will it come free of cost? Guys, come on, answer. Will it come free of cost? Will it come free of cost? Will anyone in this world give anything free of cost? Absolutely not. With respect to equity share capital, the company has to pay the equity shareholders some equity dividend, correct? Preference share capital, preference dividend. With respect to debt, I need to pay interest, correct? This is a fixed income security. That is, I need to pay interest. It can be a debenture or it can be a bank loan. Guys, correct or not? These sources of finance, you tell me, these sources of finance, do they come free of cost? No. There is a cost attached to each source of finance. Correct, guys? So, first for me to start a business, I need money. Correct? Now, how much money to raise from which source of finance I need to decide. Correct? This is a decision making there. How much money to raise from which source of finance I need to decide. Correct or not? Are you clear with this? Why? Because every source of finance comes with a cost attached to it. Are you clear with this, guys? So the first decision, the first type of decision that we take in our subject is called as financing decisions. Financing decisions, meaning what? Decision with respect to fundraising activity. Where to raise the finance? Sir, I want a total of 100 crore rupees. The entire 100 crores, will I take it from equity share or 20 from equity share, 60 from preference shares and remaining 20 from my debt, or which proportion I should take from which source of finance? All these decisions taken with respect to the fundraising activities are covered in our subject called as financing decisions. Clear with this? Please be very careful with the word. It's not financial decision. It's a financing decision. Financing means what? Finance. That is fundraising decision. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? This is the first type of decision that we take in our subject. Clear with this, guys? Clear with this, guys? Are you all clear with this? Now what happened? I have raised money. Let's say 100 crores I wanted. I have taken a proper... Sir, how do I decide? That is what is the subject all about. Fine, we have not even entered into that. I'm just telling you what we are going to learn in the subject. Now, having raised this 100 crores, now guys, you tell me, what will I do? I will put it in an FD and sleep off. If I want to do that, why should I start a company? Right? What will I do? Using this money, I will invest it in fixed assets of the company, purchase machineries, actually construct a factory, and actually I should do my manufacturing activity, and then out of that I should generate revenue, and all these things are there. Correct, guys? So having raised the money, the first thing that I will do is I will invest in fixed assets. Correct or not? Yes, guys. Now, where to park the funds? I have raised the money. where to raise the money from, that one decision is taken called as financing decision. Having raised the money, where should I invest this money? Where should I park this money? Should I invest this in project 1 or should I invest this in project 2 or let's say I want to manufacture a particular product. I can manufacture this product using machine 1 or using machine 2. Machine 1 is a fully automated machine. Machine 2 is a semi-automated machine. Correct? Now, using either of these two machines, I can achieve my objective. Correct? Should I go for machine 1 or should I go for machine 2? It depends on many factors. Maybe machine 1 being fully automated, it might be what? It might be more expensive to buy, but the running cost might be less. Whereas for here, machine 2, if I buy, initial cost and all might be less, but I need to involve more labor. Are you clear with this? Again, cost benefit analysis and all we need to use. Are you clear with this? What it is and all we will see later. Basically, the second type of decision that we take here is, where do I invest these funds? Are you clear with this? This is called as investment decisions. This is called as investment decisions. Having raised my money, where am I going to put it? Which alternatives, which projects am I going to invest it in order to get the best optimum benefit for my company? Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? Now you tell me, I have money, right? I have constructed a beautiful factory, a big beautiful factory. I've constructed, air conditioned and all. Inside the factory, I have purchased a lot of machinery and kept, right? Can I start the production? Guys, can I start the production? Can I start the production? No, why? Obviously, you need raw material. You need your human resource, that is labor, correct? You need to incur some power cost and all, overheads and all. Yes, guys, correct? Now, just my long-term fixed asset, investment in fixed assets alone is not sufficient. Now, what I need to do, I also need to purchase some current assets. Guys, correct or not? What do you mean by current assets? Stock, correct? Yes, I need to purchase stock, correct? Now, whenever I'm purchasing stock, I have two alternatives. I can pay cash and I purchase, or I can ask my supplier, sir, I'm just starting right now. So you give me some 30 days credit. I will manufacture this, I will sell it, and after that I will give it to you. Correct or not? Yes. Or indirectly, can I say, if this happens, if this guy, the supplier, if he is supplying me raw material without taking any money today, but accepting money after 30 days, can I say indirectly, this guy, this supplier is also funding me. He is funding me indirectly, not in monetary terms, but by way of supplying me materials. Guys, correct or not? That's why current liabilities come in the sources side of your balance sheet. That is, it comes in the left side of your balance sheet, because these guys are not funding you by way of providing you finance, but they provide you finance indirectly by way of supplying materials and accepting the payment at a later point of time. Are you clear with this? That's why. And when you sell, debtors gets created. Guys, correct? That is, I sell today, but I promise to collect it from you on a later date. So here, stock, debtors, all these things are there, correct? I need to provide for all these things. Stock is an amount of investment that is required for me to run the business, but to some extent, it gets supported by my suppliers. They are funding me to some level. So that is why what we do is current asset minus current liabilities we do, and properly we call it as working capital. You know working capital? Have you heard of working capital? Yes. Working capital stands for current assets minus current liabilities. Sir, why is it current assets minus current liabilities? Separate chapter. We will be seeing it in detail. For the time being, this level of understanding is enough. Are you clear with this? So basically, the investment decisions will be long-term as well as it will be short-term in nature. Short-term investment decisions are with respect to working capital requirements. Long-term investment decisions are with respect to the non-current assets, that is the fixed assets. Are you clear with this? So how much amount of fixed assets I need to have, and which type of assets I need to purchase, how much current assets and how much current liabilities I need to have for successfully running my business. All these things are a subject matter of decision making that gets covered in our financial management. Are you clear with this? So the second category of decisions that we take in our subject is what? Investment decision. First one is what? Where to raise the money, that is financing decision. Having raised the money, where to invest it, that is investment decisions. Are you clear with this? Now I can start my business, right? So I have my fixed assets, I have my working capital. Now I can start my business, generate revenue, correct? Once I generate revenue, I generate profits. Guys, yes or no? Right? Ultimately, using this profit, what I will do, I will pay off all the outsiders of the company, correct? That is, I will pay interest, I will pay preference dividend and all. Are you clear with this? Now, the balance amount that I have, the balance profit that I have belongs to whom? It belongs to whom? Guys, it belongs to whom? Owners of the company. Who are the owners of the company? Shareholders, or in other words, equity shareholders of the company. Correct or not? Correct or not? Yes. So basically, yes, first I made a decision with respect to where to raise the money, right? Then where to invest the money. Having invested, I start my business, generate revenue, generate profits, right? And pay off all the outsiders. The balance amount that I have, the balance of profit that I have, right? The balance of profit that I have, correct? That belongs to whom? Equity shareholders. Now you tell me, should I pay the entire amount as dividend to the equity shareholders, or the companies can keep some amount as it can pay some amount as dividend and they can retain some amount as reserves? Tell me guys, should the entire amount be paid as dividend? Is it necessary like that? Absolutely not. In your law, you would have studied all these sections 123 to 127 or 128 and all these sections 123 to 127, your dividend sections and all, what they say basically, it is not necessary for the company to pay the entire dividends to the shareholders. If they want, they can pay. The board will recommend the amount. So basically, the third decision that we take is called as dividend decisions. Meaning what? How much to pay as a dividend and how much to keep as retained earnings, that is reserves and surplus. Are you clear with this? If I pay everything also, it is not good. If I retain everything also, it is not good. So how much to retain and how much to pay? This is one very important decision. That is the last category of decision making that is involved in our subject financial management. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? This decision making is applicable only with respect to equity shares. Are you clear with this? Because preference shares are different. Preference shares, they are shareholders, no doubt, but anyways, they get paid a fixed dividend and all. Not all preference shareholders have voting rights, but these guys have voting rights. Guys, are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? Guys, is everyone able to understand this? Is everyone able to understand this? So broadly speaking, in our subject financial management, we are going to study about three different objectives, three different decision makings. First is called as financing decisions. The second one is called as investment decisions. And the third one is called as what? Dividend decisions. Guys, correct? Please answer. Yes. Fine. Dividend decisions. Are you clear with this? Now, if you are able to effectively take these three decisions, it will achieve the overall objective of FM. What is the overall objective of financial management? The overall objective of financial management is maximizing the shareholders' wealth. So, if you want to maximize the shareholders' wealth, you need to take these three decisions effectively and efficiently. Financing decisions, that is decision with respect to the fundraising activity. Investment decision, the decision taken with respect to where to deploy the funds. And dividend decision, that is having deployed the funds and generated profits, how much amount should be paid to the equity shareholders presently, how much should be retained for our future expansion. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this, guys? Yes, if you do these three things properly, automatically the shareholders' wealth will be maximized. Clear with this, guys? Are you all able to understand this? Now you will have a question. Sir, if I take these three decisions properly, how will the shareholders' wealth automatically grow? Correct? Guys, yes, this question is that if I take the financing decisions, investment decisions, and the dividend decisions, automatically how will the shareholders' wealth be maximized? Now, guys, this is where you need to know a little about stock markets. Little bit about stock markets in your CA intermediate. Stock markets is not there. That is your subject, the learning portion of the subject. You don't have many things related to stock market. Yes, but you definitely need to understand some basics of stock market to understand the reasoning and rationale behind the questions that are asked. For example, there is something called as yield model in your in a particular chapter, in cost of capital chapter. There's something called as cost of equity that can be computed using yield model. Now, without knowing how the share market functions, you might not be able to appreciate why we are doing that particular formula, that particular concept at all. So basically, you should have limited stock market knowledge. I'm going to give you that limited introduction to the extent relevant for you. Not even a single second I'm going to deviate, and I'm going to tell you I'm not going to tell you anything that is not applicable for you. All these things are 100% relevant for your exams. For you to understand the concept, there are some underlying things that you need to understand. Clear with this, guys? So now, what is the question that I asked you? Sir, if I take the financing decisions, investment decisions, and dividend decisions properly, automatically how will my shareholders' wealth grow? Correct? Now, guys, you tell me, can I say value of a company is equal to number of shares into the market price per share? Correct or not? Guys, yes, market price per share, right? So the value of every company is nothing but the number of shares into market price per share. Guys, correct? Now, this market price per share means what? That is, the company, let us say they have raised some money. Okay, they have issued 100 equity shares at the rate of 10 each. Now, this market price is not 10 rupees per share. Clear with this? Market price means what? The amount which the market is willing to pay to buy every share of your company. The market price is actually valued independently by the market. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? So this is not book value. There are two values. One is called as book value. The other one is called as market value. Book value is the accounted value in your books, whereas market value is different. It is the value at which the people are willing to buy the shares of the company. I will explain this. Sir, how will people be willing to buy the shares of the company? How does it work and all? Now, guys, this is where you need to know a little bit about stock market. This is the right introduction, the way in which you get introduced to the subject. Now, guys, always remember there are two different types of markets. When I say market, I mean stock market. Clear? Two different types of markets. One is called as primary market. The other one is called as secondary market. What is it? I will tell you. Now, let us say I have started a new company. Okay, I have started a new company. Now, I want to go to the public and issue equity shares. I want to raise money through the equity share mode. Clear with this, guys? Right? Now, I am going to the public. I am saying that, look, I will issue equity shares. And you will have to pay me money. Correct, guys? Yes, this is one source of finance for the company. Guys, are you understanding? Please acknowledge. Yes, you guys are able to understand this. Now, you tell me, this company, it goes to the public, and the public, what they are doing, they invest some money in this company and in return they get shares, correct? Let us say a company called ITC. Do you know ITC? Yes, Indian Tobacco Company, ITC, your classmate notebooks, your FMCG, Ashirwad Atta, Sunfeast biscuits. So they are into this business, correct? Now this company, let us say they have issued a total of 100 shares at the rate of rupees 10 each. Which company? ITC. Okay. What is the total amount of funds raised? Guys, how much is it? 1000 rupees. Clear with this? Guys, clear with this? Now you tell me, they have issued 100 shares at the rate of how much? 10 each. So if I want to purchase every share, I would have paid 10 rupees and purchased the share, correct? Now what happens? Now in the balance sheet of ITC Limited, equity share capital will be recorded as 1000 rupees, correct or not? Or in other words, the company receives an extra source of funding. Guys, yes? Are you understanding this? Now, equity shares. You guys have heard of this equity shares? Guys, you guys have heard of this equity shares? Fine. Now, you tell me, will equity shares, will it be repaid at some point of time? Is there a concept of repayment of equity shares? Now, let us say you are going to a bank and opening an FD, correct? Today, you pay them 100 rupees, correct? You will say after 5 years, I will return back this 100 rupees, correct? During this 5 years, I will pay you interest. But at the end of 5th year, he will repay back 100 rupees. Guys, correct? Right? Now you tell me, if I invest this 10 rupees, I am buying one share of this company. Okay? Right? Tell me, I will pay 10 rupees. Correct? Now, will the company redeem or will they repay back this 10 rupees to me? Never. That is the concept of equity shares. Why? Because company has, it follows going concern assumption. You would have studied in your audit. Perpetual succession. You would have studied in your law. Correct? Link it all together. All the subjects are interlinked. Company keeps on going. Correct? So, only at the time when the company liquidates, you will get back your amount. Correct? Or there is also a case of buyback. Leave that. The company buyback is buying back the shares, then also you will get. But generally, ideally, only when the company shuts down the business, they will repay back the money to their owners. Are you clear with this? Now you tell me, you have invested 10 rupees in the company, correct? Fine. No doubt you will be receiving dividends every year. Fine. Agreed. But what happened to your original investment? This original investment, you will never be able to get it back. Guys, correct? Then why will people be interested in investing in the stock market? Are you able to understand what I'm saying? Yes, this is like saying, I will invest 100 rupees and open an FD account. I will receive interest every year. No need to repay back the principal. Will you accept? Will you accept, guys? No, right? Similarly here, which idiot will say, I will invest money by buying equity shares? The only return I will get is by way of dividend. I need not get back the original amount that I had invested. Will you be okay with that? Will you be okay with that? Then why are people still investing in stock markets? Right? This is where you should know that parallelly there is one more market called as secondary market. Clear with this? All these things happens, whatever I said, the fund raising activity, the company goes to the public and raises funds, correct? This activity happens in something called as primary market. Clear? Primary market. What happens in a primary market? The company, have you heard of this word IPO? Yes. IPO, initial public offer, right? Initial public offer, meaning what? The company is now raising funds from the public. The balance sheet of the company will now increase because they have new inflow of cash. Guys, clear with this? Now, look at it from the viewpoint of the investor. Now, guys, you tell me, why would you pay 10 rupees and buy one share and agree not to receive this 10 rupees ever in your lifetime? Will you ever be interested in doing that? Absolutely not. Now, what happens is, Now you have purchased the shares of the company, correct? Now let us assume ITC has a total of only 100 shares. Overall, they have issued 100 shares from the public. Now this 100 shares are with the public. Clear with this? Yes. So the public have 100 shares with them. Now what happens? This company, which company? ITC. It will go to SEBI. You know SEBI? Yes. Securities and Exchange Board of India. Right? It is the regulator of stock markets in India. It will make an application. It will make an application. And what application it will make? It will say that please list my shares in the stock markets. Are you clear with this? That is, the stock market typically means the secondary market. Secondary market, stock market means what? It is like a shop, right? It is like a shop where you can buy and sell some commodity. Clear with this? What is the commodity that we are talking about? The shares of this company. So they are saying, SEBI, please create this shares of ITC as a product. Okay, this product should be available for sale in this secondary market. Are you clear with this? This secondary market is basically called as stock market in colloquial terms. When we call stock market, it refers to secondary market only. In India, we have two secondary markets. What are the two secondary markets we've got? The National Stock Exchange, NSE, and the Bombay Stock Exchange, BSE. There are only two stock markets. There are also other stock markets like Madras Stock Exchange, Kolkata Stock Exchange. Two recognized stock exchanges are only there in India. Clear with this? This is like two shops are there in India where the shares can be sold and purchased. Clear with this, guys? The shares are the product here. Are you clear with this? Guys, I am starting from the scratch. From the beginning, I am starting. Right? Now, what happens? Now these shares, this is like, okay, let me tell you. One is like Amazon. The other one is like Flipkart. Clear? Guys, if you want to buy a product, let's say you want to buy a mobile phone, you can either go and purchase it on Flipkart or you can go and purchase it on Amazon. Correct? Guys, yes, are you clear with this? Similarly, what happens? This company ITC, it will go to the daddy. Daddy is SEBI, topmost, right? It will go to SEBI. It will say, please list my shares on these two exchanges. Meaning what? Meaning what? Make these shares available for trade in the markets. Clear with this? Clear with this, guys? Clear with this? So now what happens? This 100 shares, whatever is the shares of ITC will now be available in NSE and BSE. Clear with this, guys? Now, in the primary market, I would have purchased by paying 10 rupees. I would have purchased a share. Correct? Now, what I can do is, suppose after 2 years, I want this money back. I can go and sell it in the secondary market, either in NSE or in BSE. My choice. Clear? I can sell it on Flipkart or on Amazon. Clear with this, guys? Clear with this? Are you clear with this? Now, what happens here is, now this product, what is the product? Equity shares of ITC. It has to be listed, correct? It has to be listed. That is, it has to be made available for a price, no? Correct, guys? This price is called as the market price. This price, will it be exactly 10 rupees? No. This can be more than 10 rupees or this can be less than 10 rupees. Or in other words, this is called as the market price per share. This is the price which people are willing to pay to buy the shares of your company. So let us say Mr. A, right? He participated in the primary market, purchased one share of ITC. Now he has this share, correct? Now you tell me, will this share ever be repaid by the company? No. But what this guy, Mr. A, can do, suppose after 2 days, he wants to sell the share and get back his money, he can do that. Not in the primary market, but he can do that in the secondary market. Now, he can sell this to Mr. B. Mr. B maybe is a person who is interested in buying the shares, but he couldn't participate in the primary market because primary market, it rarely comes. It will not come every day and all. Right now, the company is going public directly from the company is raising money from the public. Every day, primary market will not be open. Clear with this. But the shares that got published in the primary market will be available for buying and selling in the secondary market. How many secondary markets are there? Two: BSE and NSE, National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? So what happens? Mr. A, who purchased the shares from the company, directly from the company in the primary market, he can now sell this shares to Mr. B, maybe at 15 rupees. Are you clear with this? Sir, how, sir, 15 rupees? This price will be decided by the market using the forces of demand and supply and many other factors, not just demand and supply, many other factors, but predominantly, it depends on how efficiently the company is being managed. Are you clear with this? And how efficiently the company is managed broadly depends on these three decisions: your financing decisions, investment decisions, and dividend decisions. If you are taking these three decisions properly, the boss is watching. Who's the boss? The market. The market is watching. They will feel that yes, this is a good company to invest. Automatically your share price will be more. Correct, guys? When your share price is more, what happens? The value of the company will be more, because value of the company is nothing but number of shares in the market, price per share. Correct, guys? Yes. And when your value of the company is more, automatically it achieves your overall objectives of maximizing the shareholders' wealth. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this, guys? Are you all clear with this? Now, one very important thing that I want to tell you. Mr. A sold this share to Mr. B for 15 rupees. Guys, correct? Correct? Now tell me, will this impact the company? Will this impact the company? Guys, come on, tell me, will this impact in the company? Mr. A sold the shares to Mr. B for 15 rupees. He purchased it at 10 rupees from the company, right? Primary market. In the secondary market, he sold it for 15 rupees. He made a profit of how much? 5 rupees. That is his profit. This 15 rupees, you tell me, this transaction is happening between Mr. A and Mr. B. In the secondary market, you tell me, is the company even involved in this transaction? No. And now you tell me, because of this, is there an additional finance coming into the company? Absolutely not. The company has already issued 100 shares, raised some money. Whatever shares they had issued, that only gets traded right now. Always remember, the transactions happening in the secondary market will never impact the balance sheet of the company. Only the transactions happening in the primary market will increase or decrease generally increase the balance sheet. It will involve in some funding in the company. Are you clear with this? With respect to the secondary market, there is no extra inflow for the company. Company's balance sheet will not get affected. Are you clear with this? Then why do we have a secondary market? It provides a direct liquidity to the shares that are being issued in the primary market. Liquidity means what? I can readily convert it into cash. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? So without a secondary market, you cannot have a primary market. Why? Then why will people be interested in purchasing the shares of your company and waiting till the company dies? For example, ITC is 100 years old. Till date, suppose at the time when ITC was introduced, I purchased one share. Till date, then I can never sell it back and realize my capital amount. Guys, correct or not? Unless and until I have a ready secondary market. Always remember, ready-made secondary market is very much important for you to have a strong primary market. Only if you have a strong primary market, companies can raise money through the public, that is through equity share mode, and only if this happens, you can have business development in our country, and only when that happens, your economy can grow. Or in other words, indirectly, your economy directly depends on your stock markets. This is the reason why people are giving a lot of importance to stock markets. Are you able to understand how indirectly it is able to impact? And if I am able to take these three broad decisions properly covered under financial management, automatically my share price will be higher. and then I will be successfully able to achieve my overall objective of maximizing my shareholders' wealth. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? So basically, when I say secondary market or stock market, it means what? I'm talking about NSE and BSE, and these NSE and BSE are trading platforms, the marketplace where buyers and sellers can meet. Does company have to do anything here? No. Now, how will the market get to know whether the company is performing properly or not? A company which is getting listed in the secondary market is called as a listed company. You know that, correct? Every quarter they need to submit their financials. Not every year, every quarter, once in 3 months, they need to submit their financials to the stock exchange, and they need to submit their financials to the SEBI also. Through the stock exchange, they need to do it, and they will have to publish it, the financials, in their website, and it will be a public document. Only then the market will know how the company is performing. Not every year, quarterly results. That's why every time when the quarter gets over, the first week of the next quarter, if you see, that's when the results gets published, and people will be more active. If you watch all these news channels and all this moneycontrol.com and all these channels, if you watch, they will be talking more about the results that got published and the projections and all, for a simple reason, that is the time when generally at the beginning of every quarter, the previous quarter's results will be published. In fact, you even have an accounting standard for that, interim financial reporting and all. You have a separate accounting standard for that, and there is a separate audit called as limited review that is mandatorily, that requires to be done by all listed companies. A chartered accountant needs to do this limited review, because any figure that you publish in public, it cannot be just to I prepare one financial and give it to you. It has to be what? Audited. But an audit can happen only once in a year, but quarterly some limited amount of audit I need to do, that is called as limited review. These will also be signed financials. Are you clear with this? More about limited review, you will be seeing it in your audit. Look, what are all the subjects that we have linked right now? We have linked accounts, we have linked your audit, we have linked your law. Clear? See, it is beautiful. Actually, if you link all these subjects and study, it will be beautiful. Now, in your accounts, all this process will be accounted for. That's all. Clear with this, guys? That is when I raise money, right? When I raise money, share application, share allotment, share first call, share second call, and all, you guys know that, correct? All these accounting entries are passed here when the company goes for money, raising funds in the primary market. Are you clear with this? Secondary market transactions, no. That company has nothing to do with the accounting element of it. Clear with this? But from a legal aspect, there is something called as register of members. Now, what they will do when A sells the shares to B, from now on in future, suppose the company is declaring dividend. Now, will A get the dividend or B get the dividend? B should only get the dividend, correct? So, in the register of members, they will remove Mr. A's name and include Mr. B's name. This is there in your company law. There is one section that talks about register of members. Clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? Yes, look how beautifully you can link all these things. So, this is the overall big picture of our subject. So, in our subject, we are going to take financial decision. Financial means what? Overall, broadly. All the three put together is called as financial decision. That is, what are the three decisions that we are going to take? Financing decisions, decisions with respect to fundraising activity, investment decisions with respect to where I need to park my funds, and dividend decisions, that is having generated profit, how much amount I need to give it as dividend right now, and how much amount I need to set aside for the future expansion. Clear with this? And if I do all these three decisions properly, effectively, and efficiently, the boss, the market is watching me, automatically my market price will go up. If my market price goes up, the market value of the company will go up. And once my value of the company goes up, the shareholders' wealth will be maximized. Are you clear with this? This is the big picture of our subject. This is what we are going to study in our subject. Now, if you see, there are some chapters in our subject that deals with financing decisions. There are some chapters in our subject that deals in investment decisions. There are some chapters in our subject that deals with dividend decisions. Now, for instance, if you open our handbook, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4 and chapter 10. These 4 chapters fall under the bucket of financing decision, meaning what? They talk about fundraising activity. Are you clear with this? Chapter 5, chapter 8. What is chapter 5? Chapter 5 is investment decisions, that is capital budgeting, and chapter 8 working capital management. Clear with this? These two come under the category of investment decision. Technically speaking, working capital management should actually be classified as a separate category by itself. But yes, I told you working capital means what? Current assets, current liabilities and all. Correct? And generally it is about some short-term decision making is also involved in this area. We will be touching upon the concepts that we studied in costing. Some little concepts in costing like cost sheet and all will be covered here. Are you clear with this? So that is what it is. Financing decisions, if you see chapter 2, 3, 4 and 10. What is chapter 2? Cost of capital. Chapter 3, leverages. Chapter 4, capital structure decisions, and chapter 10, types of finance. That is a theory chapter. In this chapter we will see what are the different types of finance, the sources of finance that you have. Clear with this? Equity shares, preference shares, your debentures and all these things, loans, bonds and all, we will be seeing it theoretically. Are you clear with this? And there is a chapter number 6 that exclusively talks about dividend decisions. Chapter number 6, if you see, that talks exclusively about dividend decisions. That is, how much amount of dividend I have generated profit, how much should I pay now and how much I should retain as reserves for the purpose of my future expansion. Are you clear with this, guys? Beautiful chapter. We will see that later as and when it comes. Are you clear with this? Now, have we covered all the chapters? No, I don't think we have covered all the chapters. So what are the chapters left out, guys? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chapters we have covered. 3 chapters we have left out. What are the 3 chapters? Chapter 1, chapter 7 and chapter 9. Chapter 1, I told you, time value of money. Correct? This chapter. Then chapter 7, ratio analysis, and chapter 9 chapter 9 only, no? Chapter 9, that is scope and objectives of financial management. Ideally, this chapter 9, scope and objectives of financial management, that is the first chapter in your study material. That is, theoretically, they have explained so many things and all, the objectives of FM and all. So these 3 are general chapters. That is, they are overall in financial management. They are about general topics. They don't fall into any one particular category. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? So these 3 chapters are general chapters. They are not with respect to any one particular decision. They are about general financial management as a whole. For example, if you see, there is a chapter called ratio analysis. The ratios can be applied on the liability side of the balance sheet or on the asset side of the balance sheet. Anywhere you can do it. So these are all some general chapters. Similarly, time value of money, it's not under any of these 3 objectives. I told you it is like oxygen. You cannot see it, but its presence can be felt throughout our subject. That is also an important chapter that we have separately. Are you clear with this? These are some common chapters that we will be seeing. Apart from that, these are the chapters that can be bucketed under the respective categories. Are you clear with this, guys? Are you clear with this? Right. Now, one more important thing that I wanted to tell you. Now, generally, in financial management, the decisions that we take are long-term decisions. Clear with this? Whereas, in costing, the decisions we take are only short-term decisions. You don't take long-term decisions in costing. Are you clear with this? You take only short-term decisions in costing. You take long-term decisions in FM. Clear with this? In FM, there is one area alone where we take short-term decisions. That is in the working capital management. That also, I told you, is similar to the concepts we studied in costing. Are you clear with this? Only in that chapter we will be seeing some short-term decisions, but for that, everywhere FM talks about long-term decision making, Costing talks about short-term decision making. Long-term means what? More than 1 year, guys. Correct? Yes, are you clear with this, guys? Is everyone able to understand this? Yes. So always remember, that's why earlier and all, long back, Institute had kept costing and FM as a single paper. Basically, your FM starts where your costing ends. So the moment your costing ends, your FM begins. Are you clear with this? There is a very thin line of difference. Now, for you to understand, one small thing I will tell you, we have seen this in costing. I hope you remember. If not, no sir, I'm directly studying only FM, then also it is fine. If you know, you can participate. Now, in costing, you remember I have taught you something called as marginal costing income statement. You guys remember that? Marginal costing income statement. What is marginal costing income statement? Sales minus variable costs. You get something called as contribution, correct? Minus fixed costs. You get something called as profit. That is called as what? What profit? That is operating profit. Correct or not? Operating profit. Now I told you in costing, we only consider the expenses that are incurred in 3 locations. What are the 3 locations? Factory, administrative office, corporate office, and sales depot, sales area. Correct? Yes or no? Any costs incurred outside of these 3 locations are non-operating expenses not considered in our costing subject. Correct or not? Example, interest paid on debentures, dividend paid on preference shares. All these things are considered in costing? No. So I call this as operating profit, or can I call this as EBIT? Have you heard of this word EBIT? Earnings before interest and taxes. Correct? Earnings before interest and taxes. Correct? Now your costing stops here. This is where your FM begins. Don't worry, we will be seeing everything in detail. I'm just giving you a bird's eye view of our subject. This is just an introductory session. Don't think that you will be able to understand the entire FM right now itself. No, it takes time. Clear with this? Now, from EBIT means what? Earnings before interest and taxes. You reduce interest. Correct? You get something called as EBT. That is earnings before tax. Correct? From this, you will reduce something called as tax. You get what? You will get earnings after tax. Correct, guys? Are you clear with this? Earnings after tax. Are you clear with this? From this earnings after tax, if you reduce preference dividend, you will get something called as earnings available for equity shareholders. Guys, logically it makes sense, no? Even if you don't understand right now, it's okay. But I'm just talking something logically. Earnings before interest and tax. Hello? Yes, earnings before interest and tax. From that, you reduce interest. You get earnings before tax. From that, you reduce tax. Now you get earnings after tax. Now, after paying the taxes, now you pay to the preference shareholders. You know, whatever amount is left belongs to whom? Equity shareholders of the company, right? From that, if you further reduce your equity dividend, correct, amount available to equity shareholders minus equity dividend, if you reduce, you get your retained earnings. Guys, correct or not? Whatever amount is left over after paying my equity dividend is called as my reserves and surplus. It will go to my reserves and surplus. Correct, guys? Yes. Basically what happens, guys, listen, your costing is the subject matter of purview till your EBIT. Correct? This is where your costing takes control of, and from this area, the second half of it comes under the scope of financial management, or in other words, FM starts where costing ends. This is the interlink between costing and FM. Costing purely talks about short-term decisions. FM purely talks about long-term decisions. Of course, in working capital management alone, you might be having some short-term decision making. Clear with this, guys. Clear with this. Have this clarity. Now, sir, Only if I do costing will I be able to understand FM. Nothing of that sort. Nothing of that sort. But for some chapters, it is preferable that you at least know the basics of costing to enter into the financial management. So it is preferable. That's what I would suggest, right? Are you clear with this? So right now, first, what did we see here? Your financial management talks about long-term decision making. Your costing talks about short-term decision making. Are you clear with this? So long-term decisions are taken in our FM paper, and short-term decisions. Have this clarity in your mind, because long-term generally means what? More than 1 year. You take any sum in costing and you see generally the facts are only for less than a year. They are only for short-term decision making. Clear with this? Long-term decisions automatically redirect to FM. Are you clear with this, guys? Clear? In costing, we do some cost benefit analysis for a short-term period. This is for a long-term period. Because this is long-term period, there are some additional things that we will be seeing in FM. That is why we are starting with a chapter called as time value of money and all. So I will be doing that. Don't worry about it. So this is about the introduction to our particular subject. Let me just recapitulate the entire discussion. So first, I did the introduction. I introduced myself, and then we did some, before we begin, that is some classroom hygienes and all. I was telling you what you need to have and what you need to follow in the classes. Then I told you about the syllabus mapping and all. I told you 9 chapters are there as per study material. So in our handbook, we have 10 chapters. Out of that, 8 chapters are practical, numerical driven, 2 chapters are theory. Correct? Apart from that, we have MCQs. FM is for 50 marks. And why we are studying this FM? What is financial management all about? I told you it is broadly about 3 types of decisions: financing decision, investment decisions, and your dividend decision. Financing decision talks about fundraising activity, from which source I should raise how much funds. Correct? The decision I take. Having decided, let us say 100 crore rupees, out of this 50 crores I will raise from equity share capital, 30 crores from preference shares, 20 crores from debentures. Now the accounting is done under financial accounts. Are you clear with this? Accounting, I do it. That is your share application, share allotment, first call, final call, all these things. Your debenture, issue of debentures, redemption of debentures. You have seen all these things, correct, in your accounts. Accounting is done there. But how much amount to raise by way of equity, preference, debt? If I am raising by way of equity, should it be at par? Should it be at premium? Should it be at discount? All the decisions are taken in FM. Having decided, the transaction gets recorded in your accounts. Are you clear with this? Now, it is not saying, sir, FM is better than accounts. No, that is not what I'm saying. FM has a different objective altogether. The objective of accounts, financial accounts, is what? Preparing your financial statements, journal, ledger, trial balance, and preparing your financial statement, presenting it to the end user. Whereas here for us, that is not the objective. We need not present anything and show it to anyone. For us, formats and all is not important. For us, the overall objective is to maximize the shareholders' wealth. And how will you be able to do that? By way of these 3 decisions: financing decisions, investing decisions or investment decisions, and your dividend decisions. If you do these 3 properly, the boss is watching. Who is the boss? The market. When I say market, I generally mean the secondary market, that is your NSE and BSE. Are you clear with this? So the market is watching. Based on that, your market price will, if you do it properly, market price will increase, and then market value will increase automatically. You will achieve your objective. Clear with this, guys? And one more thing, in India, so I told you this is like Amazon and Flipkart. Why do we have 2 stock markets? Very simple. If there is only one person, only one player, then it is not good for the economy. Monopoly will happen. To create competition, NSE was recently introduced. When I say recently, fairly it was new. Somewhere in the 1990s is when NSE came into picture. But as on date, with respect to the cash market segment, that is with respect to the equity market segment, NSE is the leader. NSE is actually, the volume of trades is more in NSE. Now, a few things, small things I wanted to share with you before we conclude this introductory session. Now, this is like Flipkart and Amazon, I told you, right? Right. So you can, just like how you can buy and sell products, here the product that is being traded is what? Shares of companies. Now, ITC is not the only company which gets listed here. So many companies are there. There are companies like MRF. There are companies like Hindustan Unilever, Tata Steel, Tata Power, Tata Motors. So many companies are there. Clear with this, right? Now, the commodity that gets traded, the product that gets traded in the market is called as the nothing but equity shares. Correct? Now, every share of ITC and share of, let us say, Tata Motors, will it be the same? No, it depends on the performance of the companies and so many other parameters, right? At times, the parameters could be even absurd. Somewhere earthquake in an Asian country, automatically the share prices can get impacted. So we cannot say it is purely because of demand and supply. It is also because of certain other factors that are uncontrollable. Are you clear with this? Let us forget about it. That's not important here. Right now, when I'm saying that these two markets are there, that is, I can either purchase or sell these shares on NSE or BSE. Now, how do I do it? Now, this is not like Amazon, Flipkart, midnight sale happens, you can open your app and purchase anytime. No, stock market timings are there. In India, the stock market timings are Monday to Friday. The market opens at 9:15 a.m. in the morning and it closes at 3:30. The closing bell rings at 3:30 p.m. Right? So this is the timing. The market is closed on all weekends and it is closed on all public holidays also. Only during this time you can trade in the shares. Are you clear with this? Only during this time you can trade, transact in the market. Outside of the market hours, you cannot do anything. That is, in the market, you cannot deal with it. Clear with this? One more thing. Sir, I want to buy shares of a particular company. Let us say ITC Limited, I want to buy the shares. How do I do it? Now, in India, stock markets are highly regulated. Highly regulated. Now, have you heard of this Harshad Mehta scam? Harshad Mehta 1992. In fact, it's a must-watch web series. Don't watch that movie. That's not that great. The 10-episode web series, Harshad Mehta by this Pratik Gandhi. That guy, beautiful. They have literally, you can learn a lot of things from that itself. So you will, that is the reason that Harshad Mehta scam is the reason why SEBI was born in India. You know, that was the reason. He beautifully made you, I shouldn't use the word beautiful, but I'm not able to control myself into using that word, because what he did, you cannot say it is a fraud or you cannot say it is correct also. He made use of the loophole in such a way that, you know, he made big money out of it. So many people also made big money out of it. Many other people also lost money out of it. So many things are there. Is it ethical? No. Is it legal? It's a question mark. So because of the loopholes only, there is something called as SEBI got introduced in India. So in my opinion, I would say, if not for a person like Harshad Mehta today, or see, if not, the scam didn't happen by Harshad Mehta, someone else would have done it at a later point of time. So because of that, there was an eye opener, and we Indians, we are super clever. So obviously when these guys came up with this loophole, our government became even more cleverer. They came up with a lot of regulations. Right now it's super stringent, super regulated. Right now you have a lot of restrictions. It's not like earlier and all free hand was given to the stockbrokers. So basically I'm coming to that. If I want to purchase a share, sir, what should I do? First, you need to have something called as a Demat account. You need to have something called as a Demat account. Sir, okay, I need to open a Demat account. Where will I, with whom will I open it, the Demat account? You need to open a Demat account with a stock broker. Clear? So please don't misunderstand this broker for this, this real estate brokers and all. No, because in real estate, we will say no, through brokers, or I have an option of not going through the brokers. Directly buyers and sellers can meet. No, in a because what happened once, one of our clients, I said, sir, you need to open a Demat account with a broker. He said, sir, I don't want brokers, sir. I don't have the habit of going through brokers and all. No, it is not like that. In India, if you want to trade in markets, necessarily it needs to be routed through a stock broker. Any broker. Have you heard of Zerodha? Trade? Have you heard of Grow? Groww? Grow. Yes, there are so many big companies like that. So you can open a Demat account with them, and once you purchase the shares through the stock broker only. So basically the stock exchange, NSE or BSE is there, right? So NSE or BSE is here, correct? This is the marketplace where the stocks are traded, correct? You are a common man. common public. Can I directly go to the stock market and purchase the shares like Amazon, Flipkart? No. In between, there is a guy called stockbroker. Through him only you can place the orders. So you need to open a Demat account and a trading account with them. So they will give you a mobile application. Using their mobile application, that is the broker with whom you have opened a particular Demat account like Motilal Oswal, there are so many guys here. Through that only you can place the order of buying and selling shares. So don't think that, sir, I place the order on my own. Yes, you place the order on your own. Through the broker's terminal, you do it. Are you clear with this? You cannot directly go and buy it like Flipkart and Amazon and all. No, it is not possible. Clear? Sher Khan, there are so many people there. 5 Paisa, there are so many brokers are there. So through them, you need to open a Demat account. So automatically, if you buy a particular share, what happens? Your Demat account will be credited with your shares. That is, your shares will be stored electronically. No more physical share certificates and all. If you buy a share, automatically it goes to your Demat account. Suppose you want to sell the shares, so from the Demat account, it will be debited. It will be reduced. This is like a passbook only, debits and credits. Clear with this? Instead of money here, there will be stocks. Are you clear with this? Yes, there is something called as a ledger that you need to maintain. That is nothing but a wallet. That is from your bank account. You need to top up some wallet. You know this Amazon Pay balance is there. Something similar to that only is this called something called as ledger. In this ledger, I need to maintain some funds. From this, I can purchase and sell shares. And once I do that, I place the order automatically to my Demat accounts. Shares will be credited or debited accordingly. So more than this, it is not required. This itself is an additional information I gave you just in case you are curious to know about it. And sir, can I invest in stock markets and all? Yes, you can do it. Or in fact, before burning your fingers, what you can actually do is, there is actually a website and an app called as Money Control. Do you know this Money Control? Have you heard of this? Right? There is something called as moneycontrol.com. There is even an app there. What you can do is, you can create a dummy portfolio. Meaning what? Portfolio is nothing but a collection of shares, a collection of investments, correct? What you can do is dummy portfolio. You need not purchase, or you need not even have a Demat account. Right now itself, you can open this. You can say, you can see how good is your decision. You can say, now Tata Motors 100 quantities, I am purchasing it at, let us say right now it must be quoting at somewhat around 400 rupees. Fine. Then Tata Steel 100 quantities, so quoting at about 100 rupees. Like that, you can prepare a portfolio and see what is the total investment amount that you have made. And every day you can see whether it is increasing or decreasing. This is a dummy portfolio. So you are not involving any funds. Just to track the stocks, you can do that. Based on the market information, you can do some reading and all. And based on that, you can see. Like that, you can start. Don't put your money first. Like that, you can start. It will be interesting. You will also get to know. So had you invested this money, so this is where you stand after 1 month or 2 months, you can see like that. Are you clear with this? So this is a dummy portfolio. Not a single rupee needs to be invested here, or not even, don't go for all the stock tips and all. People keep giving a lot of stock tips. Unless and until you spend the time in knowing about the markets, it is not going to help you out with that. Clear with this, guys? And one more thing, I'm going to, finish off all these things at the beginning itself, because the moment we get started with our lectures, the moment we get started with the first chapter, so it is going to be completely about our syllabus. So all these small value additions, let me just give you right now. Sir, how do I learn more about all this finance related field? Now we use YouTube or Instagram and all these social media handles for all sorts of entertainment that provides us nothing in return. I am not a kind of person, I'm not a boomer uncle. I will not say that, you shouldn't use that. Rather, use it for something interesting and productive. So there is, something called as Shark Tank. Okay, Shark Tank. This is about fundraising activity. This is somewhat like a web series kind of a model. So it is basically a soap, something like, how do we say, super singer kind of thing. Like that, they have created a reality show for fundraising activity. So many people will come and they will tell the ideas, and There will be a few judges in the panel. They will say whether they are interested in investing in the company. They will talk some financial terms like equity shares. They will talk about price earnings ratio and all these things they will be talking. It's very, very interesting. Shark Tank is well known. You can watch that. There is one more thing called as Pulse the Venture. This is also another interesting reality show regarding all these fundraising activities, right? Maybe you can also watch that. These are some really good, and there are some good movies also. One thing I told you, that is Scam 1992. Definitely, if you get a free time, please do watch this. No, don't consider this as a homework and all and do. No, if you want, you watch. That's all. Purely optional. Beautiful. They have taken it. No words to describe. The screenplay, everything is beautiful. And, you should see how he is, we should not celebrate someone who is manipulated. But I would say that unless and until that incident happened, that scam happened, he was the one who portrayed that, our legal system has this kind of a loophole. So today, our Indian stock markets are so much regulated thanks to that incident that happened in 1992, without which this kind of level of control would never have happened. Clear with this, guys? Yes, so Scam 1992 you can watch. There's also an English movie, optional. If you want, you watch. There's a movie called Wolf of Wall Street, so you can also watch that movie if you want. Okay, watch. It's a narrated movie, so it's an English movie, so right. But I'm telling you, for the reason that that movie has a lot of concepts relating to finance. It's about the Wall Street, just like how in India we call Dalal Street. Dalal Street has our BSc building in it. Just like that, in the US, it's the Wall Street, the global stock market. For them, it's NASDAQ and all that they have. So it's about a story of a broker and how this works and all. Of course, in Hollywood style they have taken, but yes, some key takings are also there in that movie, right? So this is about it. And if you wish to know about the career options available in finance, right, I've made a separate video on my channel. You can just have a look at that. So what are the different career options available in finance? But remember, in the world of finance, the world #1 course is CFA, a course called CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst, world #1 course. It has 4 levels. You need to crack this course. It is kind of not easy. Just to give you an idea, so this course is only about finance. In detail, they will be dealing with about markets, everything related to finance. Clear with this? So this is not like our course, CA courses and all. See, globally, accounting and auditing courses are there, right? #1 accounting course is CPA. That is Certified Public Accountant. That is the US version of CA. And world #2 accounting course is our Indian CA, ICAI. Yes, whereas I'm talking about the field of finance. In the field of finance, if you do CFA, that is the topmost. Once you get the charter, you're, it's the ruling course in this finance industry. Of course, it's not an easy course to crack, as in you have 4 levels. Just to give you an idea, for you to write one attempt as in one level, one attempt, in INR, the exam fee alone will be somewhere about 60 to 80,000. If you fail, again, you pay 60 to 80,000 and write an attempt. But it is worthwhile doing that course in case you are interested in finance. IB, there's a sector called as IB, investment banking, where it's a top paying job, big money. People in IB are the topmost paid people with respect to the white collar jobs. But of course, it comes along with other catches as well. It's very hectic. There is nothing called as work-life balance and all. In fact, my cousin, actually a distant cousin of mine, so he is a chartered accountant, and he joined Goldman Sachs. There's a company called Goldman Sachs, if you do not know. That's an investment banking company. Now he went there and then he did CFA and all. Now he is in a different league altogether. I mean, he's in one of the top posts. He's like making crazy money, big money. And in fact, he sends his daughter to a school where top stars, top cricket players and all send their daughters to school. He's in Mumbai. So they're like that kind of lifestyle. And when I ask him about the free time that he has, he tells me his weekend starts on 4 p.m. Sunday. That is 4 p.m. on Sunday till the end of Sunday. That few hours is only the leave time, the free time that he's got. But for that, it will be completely hectic. Absolutely no work-life balance. Entire head gone. That is hair and all is gone. So he's see, it's about the priorities that you want. Some people, they like doing this kind of work. Yes, they want to make more money, have a different kind of lifestyle. Some people have a different mindset altogether. It completely differs. It completely depends from person to person. Now, I just consider it as my duty to tell you that these are the different lines available. So if you want to know more about the career options, there's a separate video, you can watch that. Are you clear with this, guys? Fine. So that's about the introduction. And finally, one very important thing I wanted to share. This financial management, last batch, I think one student, in a previous batch, one student asked me this doubt. Sir, financial management, is it always about business? That is, this financial management that we are doing, no? Is it, we do this financial management, the 3 decisions that we saw, do we do this only for business? No. This financial management can be done for business, or it can also be done for individuals. Are you clear with this? So if you apply this financial management principles for business, it is called as corporate finance. If you do it for individuals, it is called as personal finance. Basically, let's say your dad is a salaried person, right? Every month he earns money, correct? He gets his salary. He knows that there is some expenses to run his family. Balance amount he has. He knows that this needs to be invested somewhere, how much needs to be kept in the bank account, how much needs to be invested properly. If he needs to take a loan, from which bank he should take which loan and all. These are also some decisions that needs to be taken, correct? So financing decisions, investment decisions are also there here, correct? But if it is done on an individual level, it's called as personal finance. If it is done for a business, it is called as corporate finance. And in our syllabus, we deal only with corporate finance. So just because we are not seeing personal finance, don't think that personal finance is not there. In fact, in reality, majors, a few of my clients are, we do personal finance services for a few of our clients. In fact, one of our clients is so big that, his personal finance itself is his balance sheet. Personal balance sheet is much bigger than the balance sheet of 2-3 other companies put together. So like that also it can be. Why am I saying this? Just to tell you that, look, financial management can be done both on an individual level and on a business level. So it is not just confined to business, but for our syllabus, it is about our business, corporate related finance. In CA final, you have advanced financial management. In your intermediate, you have FM, right? Financial management. This subject turns into AFM, advanced financial management, in your CA final. Now 100 marks. Now this is the foundation for you to enter into the final level. The notes that you guys are preparing are not just for your intermediate. It is for your intermediate, but not just for your intermediate. These notes, please preserve it carefully. The notes that you guys are going to have, right? It will help you a lot in your CA final. Mark my words today. It will help you a lot in your CA final, because CA final starts from where CA intermediate ends. Are you clear with this? There will be doing left, right and center about stock markets. We'll be doing something about futures, options, mergers and acquisitions, beautiful areas, right? So all those things will be there in CA final. But in the intermediate level, there are some basics of finance that you definitely need to know. To some level, there are some advanced level areas also. Not too much advanced. Some advanced level areas are also there in intermediate level. So whatever notes that you are taking, please preserve it carefully. This is going to help you a lot, not just in your intermediate, but also in your CA final. Clear with this, guys? So with this, I'm concluding this particular session. So we're done with the introduction. In the next lecture, we will be starting with the first chapter, which is time value of money. So thank you all so much. I'll see you all in the next one.